If you were a little groggy around 8 a.m. this morning and you turned on the TV, well, Pete Hegseth's presser should have given you a jolt. He dropped his own bunker buster on the D.C. media.
It's like in your DNA and in your blood to cheer against Trump because you want him not to be successful so bad. You have to cheer against the efficacy of these strikes. You have to hope maybe they weren't effective. Maybe the way the Trump administration has represented them isn't true. So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it.
The fact is, multiple intel agencies here and abroad have concluded that Iran's nuclear facilities were wiped out by our military strikes. In other words, it's a win for America, it's a win for the Middle East, and of course for Donald Trump. But of course, our president's success, which is a giant step toward peace, is something that today's Democrats can't concede, forget about celebrating. They used to be for peace. So they twist themselves like Gumby to find something to kvetch about.
I just do not think the president was telling the truth when he said this program was obliterated.
Right now, we have no final battle damage assessment that would enable us to be comfortable or complacent about what has been done.
How comforting to know that most Democrats agree here with the Ayatollah. Not just about the damage or no damage or some damage to the nuclear program, but about Trump himself.
They attacked our nuclear facilities, which is, of course, subject to independent prosecution in international courts. But they were not able to achieve anything significant.
He needs a little more sun. He's a little pale. I wonder why. Here to discuss is Ohio Senator Bernie Moreno. Senator, we know that members of the squad, for sure, and probably other Democrats, would love to see Trump tried before The Hague for something. But for the party leaders to try to downplay this success, frankly, it's a new low. What does it say about the party?
Well, they're rudderless. They have no ideas. They have no leaders. But, Laura, I'm going to give you some breaking news. One of the Democrats that you just had on your program was in a confidential briefing in the SCIF today and said to General Kane, the operation that you ran will go down in the annals of American history as the greatest military operation ever conducted. A Democrat said that today. What's sick, Laura, is that they then go on TV and do everything possible politically to undermine the administration. This is not what they believe. This is just pure political grotesque behavior. It infuriates me. Look, I'm just going to call it like it is. Maybe I'm breaking Senate protocol here, but look, I can't stand these guys that say something in private and they go out publicly and contradict it only to score cheap political points, which weakens this country and undermines our military.
So Murphy or Blumenthal or Schumer or Mark Warner, can you just tell, was it one of those guys?
Look, Laura, you got it. Look, the reality is this.
I figured.
Why can't we just say, wow, great job, President Trump. I may not agree with you on this policy or that policy, but look what you've been able to accomplish. Historic military operation, a peace deal that's holding in the Middle East between two countries that were on the brink of a really bad situation, on top of what he did in Pakistan and India, on top of what he's done in Africa. This is a peace president. We should at least, can we just celebrate when the president of the United States does great things to make the world more peaceful? Is that too much to ask of our Democrat colleagues?
Well, again, nothing surprises me about this Democrat Party. They're about to perhaps elect a socialist in New York City. They're in a total box, and now this. I want to move on to something that I noticed yesterday on the Hill, where we saw a verbal takedown that you did of the Fed chair, Jerome Powell. Of course, huge contention about his refusal to lower interest rates in the United States, despite no signs of inflation. Here's a snippet for our viewers.
It says the Federal Reserve plays no role in commenting on trade policy. So you don't comment on supply shocks. You don't comment on tax policy, which clearly affects inflation. You comment on tariffs. So I'm going to just show you.
I don't comment on tariffs at all, actually. I comment on inflation.
You've only commented on tariffs.
I'm not commenting on the wisdom of tariffs.
You are costing this government $400 billion a year by refusing to lower interest rates. I just think that you should consider whether you're really looking at this from a fiscal lens or a political lens, because you just don't like tariffs.
Powell is infuriated that Trump's tariffs have not caused a recession or inflation. Should he be removed given the damage he's causing this country, one man?
Absolutely, Laura. He cost this country over $400 billion a year. Plus, this is just the federal government, our cost of borrowing, plus homeowners, people who take out car loans, people who have credit card debt, businesses that are trying to get loans. One man should not be able to cost this economy, this country that much because he has a personal beef with the President of the United States. This guy's term is up next May. I've advocated that he should be immediately removed. We could put somebody in there. If we just lowered our rates to where Japan is, who has higher inflation, Japan has higher inflation than we do, we would save hundreds of billions of dollars. We're in the middle of a tough reconciliation bill where we have to make compromises on what we're going to cut. We wouldn't have to do any of that if we had a person that was willing to just do it with the rational thing and cut interest rates, which is the common sense thing to do. This guy needs to go. He's a partisan.
No, it's a nightmare. Are you guys going to cut NPR and PBS and USAID? I'm getting a lot of concern from my viewers that y'all aren't going to cut as you should. Is that going to happen?
We absolutely should. That's a rescissions package. We're going to take that up right after the big, beautiful bill. It's a no-brainer, Laura. Look, we shouldn't be funding these things. USAID was a money laundering operation. NPR and PBS are basically propaganda machines for the Democrat Party. These are no-brainer cuts. And by the way, the American people want more. They want more of the Doge cuts codified.
Yeah, well, I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg with what USAID is up to. Senator, thank you very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.